Rat cheer and rat now. Yeah. So let's do this. Chloe Peterson got all of this today. This is going to be Caitlin Clark, and this is a little jumper line that they Kathy Engelbert, WNBA commissioner. You got your ears on? I mean, what's the F around and find out? You're finding out. Ratting. And you'll see Caitlin Clark come up here in a minute. There's one shot. Timpson. And that was Caitlin Clark.
The WNBA was riding high with Caitlin Clark at the center of its newfound popularity. But when she went down on May 24th with a left quad injury, everything changed.
We've got a bigger sample size of the ratings without Caitlin Clark. And they're pretty bad. Well, I don't want to say the ratings are bad, but they're just down a lot. It looks like we are not getting Caitlin Clark for the New York Liberty game. Stephanie White made made a statement on that today. So, a whole lot. So we're going to look at that, and wow, I saw those numbers and was like, holy hell.
How did her absence lead to a 53% drop in Fever Games ratings? Let's break down the timeline. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
Try to work them in as much as you could.
How have you tried, it's been such a disruptive first month, how have you tried to help this team navigate that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is just understanding that, we have opportunity to grow through.
How do you think Baker's status being for?
Yeah, I mean, we limited their reps, but really tried to get him up and down the floor a little bit, starting to try to get into game rhythm, game speed, game pace, timing a little bit off, rhythm a little bit off, but continue some circumstances that might not be ideal. The ball's getting in other people's hands outside of Caitlin because she's not on the floor, and how are we able to get one another in positions to be successful?
Caitlin Clark didn't just arrive in the WNBA, she exploded onto the scene. From the moment she stepped on the court, the atmosphere was electric. Fever Games were no longer just games. They felt like events. Fans packed arenas. Broadcasters scrambled to talk about her, and social media lit up with highlight after highlight. Clark's style of play wasn't just exciting, it was magnetic. With her fearless three-point range, no-look assists, and intense competitiveness, she brought a spark that caught everyone's attention, even people who didn't usually follow women's basketball.
But, we got to maintain perspective. We can only control what we can control, and we want to make sure that we're still continuing to grow and get better in areas. And then when we reintegrate them, then players are getting minutes that might have been limited with both Caitlin and Sophie out. I think the other piece is really balancing overuse for players like Kelsey and Lexi, and trying to get them rest and things like that. We have to be patient and give grace while allowing ourselves to continue to grow now with them.
Fever Games with her averaged an incredible 1.81 million viewers, numbers the team hadn't touched before. Her debut wasn't just a big deal for Indiana. It put the entire WNBA into the national spotlight. And then came May 24th, the day things came to an abrupt halt. Midway through what was supposed to be another signature performance, Clark limped off the court, gripping her left leg, a left quad strain, the team later announced. At first, the injury didn't seem like it'd be a huge deal, just a few games off to recover. But as the games went on without her, the situation became clear. Clark wasn't just a player, she was the player. The Fever struggled without her leadership and playmaking, going winless in the 5 games following her exit. But what really stood out was the reaction from fans. Viewership plummeted. Games that had been pulling in nearly 2 million viewers dropped to 847,000, cutting more than half the audience. And it wasn't just the Fever feeling the pain. Across the league, numbers told a harsh story. The WNBA as a whole saw a 55% drop in ratings during Clark's absence.
Look, better safe than sorry. I'm just fine with that. We want both these ladies to come back fully healthy. All right. Oh boy. Okay, so it does not sound like they're playing on Saturday, which completely sucks.
A collapse that sent ripples through the organization. The buzz, the energy, the momentum, all of it had revolved around her. Without her, the excitement felt muted. Games seemed quieter, both in arenas and on TV. It wasn't just about basketball anymore. It was a wake-up call. Clark's injury wasn't just Indiana's problem. It exposed how much the league had leaned on her to drive its growth. Now the WNBA faced a question. Could they survive the void she left behind? When Caitlin Clark went down, the WNBA tried everything to keep the momentum alive. They turned the spotlight onto other big names. Angel Reese, Aja Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, all incredible players in their own right. The league pushed harder to market these stars, giving them primetime slots and campaigns aimed at showing that the WNBA was more than just one player. But the results were underwhelming. Even marquee matchups, like the Indiana Fever taking on the Chicago Sky with Reese as the headliner, struggled to generate buzz. Viewership dipped far below what Clark's games had consistently pulled, and the energy just wasn't the same. Fan engagement wasn't just lagging on TV, ticket sales took a hit too, and not a small one. Some games without Clark saw ticket prices drop to as low as $3. Not a typo. That's barely a coffee. What was once a packed house atmosphere now often felt half-hearted, with fewer sellouts and more empty seats in the stands. The numbers made something painfully obvious. While the WNBA had undeniable talent across the board, Clark had become the main draw. Her absence wasn't just felt, it couldn't be ignored. What made it worse was the financial pressure mounting on the league. With plans to hit $1 billion in revenue this year, the WNBA had a lot riding on Clark's rise. Her injury suddenly put that goal in jeopardy, and it sparked real questions about how all in the league had gone on one player. Critics argued the league hadn't diversified its marketing enough, leaning too heavily on Clark to carry the storylines. And when she vanished, so did the hype. Now, all eyes are on her potential return. Reports say she's back to light basketball activity, aiming for a comeback on June 14th against the New York Liberty. This isn't just about one player carrying a team, it's about how her presence reshapes the entire landscape of the WNBA. The dramatic ratings crash during her absence says it all. Clark isn't just the face of the Fever. She's become the key to the league's growing popularity and energy. Her potential return on June 14th isn't just a game, it's a pivotal moment for the WNBA's momentum. If she steps back on the court, it's not just basketball fans who will be watching, it's anyone invested in the future of the sport itself.